If you're frustrated with opponents targeting your backhand at the kitchen line, then this video is for you. Today we're going to be teaching all the mechanics to learning the backhand slice dink, which in my opinion is the best dink to learn as a beginner for your backhand in pickleball. Let's get into it. So the first thing that we're gonna go over are just your basic mechanics with the slice dink. So how I want you to start first is gonna be addressing your body positioning. So it's really important that you are in an athletic stance with your knees bent and your chest facing forward. A lot of times I see people kind of bend down like that. It's really important that you keep your chest facing towards the net or where your opponents are. Second is I wanna talk about swing path. So with the backhand slice dink, what I see a lot of people do is they'll kind of chop the ball like a karate chop, and what happens is it's really wristy, and oftentimes the ball is going to go in the net and there's a ton of spin that you honestly don't need. It causes a lot of errors. So instead of chopping at the ball, I want you to think of your swing path almost like a Nike swoosh sign. So you're going to start with your paddle tip up, come down, and then you're going to lift back up. This lifting motion at the end of the shot is so important because that's actually what lifts the ball to go over the net. If you do not come right back up, that ball is typically going to go into the net. The last thing that I want to address has to do with your wrist. So another big mistake I see is people want to apply the spin via their wrist. Now again, that's putting a lot of unnecessary movement, and this can cause a ton of errors. So it's actually really important to keep your wrist kind of cocked and locked through the entire shot, okay? This is gonna eliminate so many errors, and this is actually why I think this is the easiest backhand dink to learn if you're a beginner, because there's not much movement with your wrist. All it is moving from your shoulder down into the Nike swoosh and back up. It all has to do with your shoulder. Very last thing has to do with this opposite arm. So it's really important that you know that the movement is led by your paddle hand. But when you come down, it's really important that you use this opposite hand as balance. That's gonna actually create stability in your body, so you're not going to be swaying with the shot. So let the paddle hand lead forward and let this other arm balance out. Again, that's going to help the shot be extremely consistent. The most common mistakes I see people do when they're hitting this dink really is that chopping, so not coming back up after the shot. Another mistake that's super common is people want to add crazy amount of spin. You guys, it's so important to remember that a little spin goes a long way. When you try to do too much, that's when a lot of errors happen. And then the last mistake that I see a lot of people do is they don't remember that they need to lift the ball. Remember, gravity has a huge play in dinking, so it's really important that you lift that ball up at the end of that shot, and that's going to really eliminate a ton of errors when dinking. So now that you understand the basic mechanics, we're going to go into a drill progression to help you practice and master the backhand slice dink. So for this first one, you're going to line up with your partner and you're going to be across diagonal from the kitchen line with each other. And they're going to act as the feeder and you're going to act as the person practicing the slice dink. So this is how it's going to look. You're going to go ahead and have your partner feed you balls, and this is where you're really going to practice how that swing mechanic looks. So really getting that Nike swish sign, having that paddle tip start up high and coming back so that you're lifting the ball after the shot. Things to keep in mind are making sure that you contact the ball in front of your body, that you have your wrist in that locked position, and again, that you don't go crazy with the spin. Once you get really comfortable hitting that shot and you feel like you have the swing mechanics down, now we'll play a game to help you practice your aim. This next drill is called battleships, and it's one of my favorite drills because it forces you to practice aiming where your dinks are going. So the setup is I have 3 cones in front of me and my partner has 3 cones in front of them, and we're diagonal from each other at the kitchen line. Now there's 2 ways that you can win points in this game. One is you win the rally, And 2 is if you hit a cone, then you get 2 points. Winning the rally is 1, hitting a cone is 2. First person to 7 wins, and we're gonna show you what this looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and start off. The whole goal is to really practice your slice dink, okay? So you really wanna make sure that you are practicing that. So that's 1 point for me since I won that rally. So now it's 1-0. And I just hit a cone, so that's 2 points for me. So now it's 3-0. And we just keep going back and forth. And remember, first person to 7 will win the game. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel. And don't click off because we have a killer video coming your way.